We've got to talk about how my brand new Fendi Peekaboo has been causing me so much frustration and taken up so much of my time to get some of the issues with it resolved. And I very intentionally have not told you all about these issues because I wanted it to get fully resolved before I tell you the whole story, because you didn't know if there'd be like extra developments after the case. And so I just want to talk to you about my experience because I don't know, I just need to rant a little because I am very frustrated with the whole experience. I will say, to Fendi's credit, eventually I am happy with like the outcome and the resolution, so that's great, but at the end of the day, I think for the amount of money that was spent on this bag and for Fendi being like a top tier luxury brand, I was honestly pretty disappointed with how the whole set of issues were handled. So in true fashion, because we are data girlies here on this channel, I have prepared a full timeline and I'm going to talk you through the series of events and frustrations that I've had with this bag and just how it got resolved. And I want to hear your thoughts. Please tell me if you think, was I being too demanding? Was I being too overbearing? Like, was I doing too much? Like, we've seen videos on YouTube where people are a little psycho about working with their sales associates. So listen, I can hear the feedback if I need to. Tell me if you think, was I doing too much? Or do you think that Fendi was in the wrong here? Do you think that they dropped the ball? Do you think that they should have been more on top of things? Just let me know what you think. So, taking it back to when I bought this bag, and I'm gonna be looking down because I've got my notes. I originally tried this bag on at Fendi on December 14th, and I ended up purchasing it there on December 15th. When you're gonna make a big purchase, you gotta go think about it, shop around, make sure it's really what you wanna get. And this was indeed the bag that I wanted to get. And by the way, like, all the frustrations that I'm gonna talk about are very separate from the fact that I literally love this bag. And that is the only reason why I was willing to put up with all of this BS, with all of this back and forth, is because this has very quickly become one of my most used handbags. I love it. I even included it in my best purchases of 2024 video. I literally love this bag. So overall, like, the bag itself, love it, but whatever. Okay, so bought the bag on December 15th. Now, I didn't actually unbox the bag until December 21st. So that was like a week later, because I remember I flew home from Vegas on the 15th, got in late that evening, obviously worked a full work week, and then didn't unbox it until that Saturday. You all saw in the unboxing video, you watched me peel the stickers open and like truly unbox that bag. Very special bag. So let's see with my long, ridiculous nails if I'm able to open this or if I need to go get some assistance for some scissors. Oh wait, I'm doing it. I did not touch it from the moment I had it until I filmed that unboxing video. And even in the unboxing video, I realized after I filmed it that obviously, since this is like an exotic bag, I didn't even like look for the little CITES certificate. Now, this is my first exotic bag, so I am still learning about the world of exotics, but I do know that exotic bags do have to come with like paperwork, essentially, to make sure that they were sourced ethically and that there's like a true like paper trail of like where the bag came from, where it was sourced, to make sure that it meets all of its legal requirements. So that's a little CITES certificate that is normally provided at the time of purchase. So my mistake when I bought the bag, like when I went back to go get it on the 15th, I didn't like ask for the CITES. I just assumed that it was in the box. So when I unboxed it on the 21st, as I was like editing the video, I was like, wait a minute, where's the CITES? Like, okay, so like I went and started looking through the box, couldn't find it. And then I was really like looking in the bag, really like inspecting it. I also noticed that there were some scales missing on the strap. And I thought that this was really weird because when I went to try this bag on, it was not available in the store. Like, I was just like, hey, I actually tried this bag on in Singapore. I just wanted to see if you by chance have it. I know there aren't many like in the world. I just wanted to see if you had it so I could try it on. And they were like, no, we don't have it. But they, I guess, somehow must have got it messengered over from another location very quickly, because like as I was leaving Fendi that day and I bought some other things, they were like, Lily, we got the bag. And so, I went and tried it on, had to go think about it, but whatever. The interesting thing was when I tried it on the 14th, I had them put it on the shortest strap hole, because you all know I'm 5'3", I'm a shorty, okay? I'm a little girl and I often wear my straps on the shortest strap length. So it was on the shortest strap length when I left. And I remember when I didn't buy it, I was working with a male sales associate. He was like looking after me. But there was this like really sweet woman in the background kind of helping. Like she was like whispering to me, she's like, you need to get it. Like it's so cute. You know, she was like a girl's girl. And I remember when I was leaving on the 14th, she's like, I'm gonna hold it for you. I'm just gonna keep it in the back just in case you decide to come back. Like you need to get this back. And so I was like, oh my God, thank you. Okay, like let me think about it and I will come back. And so when I went back the next day, if they had told me the truth, that they had put it in the back, now granted, they might have just been saying that, right? At the end of the day, their goal is to sell bags. So they might have just left it on the floor and other people may have tried it on after I tried it on. But if they put it in the back like they said they did, because they did have to go into the back to get it and bring it back out, I do believe them that it was in the back. Why was it that when I was inspecting the bag and the strap and everything right after I unboxed it, I realized that the strap like hook here, it was no longer on the smallest setting. It was on like the medium setting, like the one in the middle, if you will. And when I went to go move it onto the small setting, I saw that there were several scales missing. And I was like, okay, I don't know if it's just a coincidence or, and listen, if you've worked retail, you kind of understand this. Like if there's a little flaw or something, sometimes like people try and like get it past you type of thing. We've all like kind of seen this happen before. So I was like, maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe just like as they were boxing it up, they put it on the middle because that's like the default. And maybe they weren't trying to cover up the scales that were missing. There just happened to be some missing underneath. Although I highly doubt that. Like, I think if you're like looking at the strap and moving it and everything, you would notice if there were some scales missing. But regardless, it's my fault, I think, for not like fully checking the bag over before I bought it because I had already like, you know, looked at it the day before. I didn't really think. I should have thoroughly inspected it before I had them like box it up. But I didn't. So on the 21st, a week later, once I realized that there were scales missing and that I didn't have the CITES certificate, I immediately texted my sales associate, who I'd already like been in text contact with. Like he was just like a lovely person to work with originally. Like, of course, when you're buying stuff, they're gonna be lovely to you. So we had already been texting, and then I was like, hey, like I need the certificate, the strap is defective, what do you wanna do? Also, when I didn't hear back from him immediately, me being like crazy, I also called Fendi, like the Fendi customer service line. Turns out the Fendi customer service line, they can't help you with like your in-store purchases. They're like separate. It's also similar with Hermes. Like they're just separate. So you have to work directly with your sales associate in order to get any issues that you have fixed. So they were like, we can't do anything. What we can do is we can send a note over like to the store and the store manager, and they'll work with your sales associate to get things, you know, figured out. So I was like, okay. And then my sales associate texted me back shortly after that. He said to me, he was like, okay, we typically email the CITES certificate. So we are going to email that to you by like Monday or Tuesday. And we are also going to replace your strap for you. So we're going to send you a shipping label. You send us back your defective strap, and then we will send you a new replacement strap. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't mind being without a strap for a few days. I obviously like hadn't been using it. So I was like, okay, perfect. Also, I have a question for those of you that have bought exotic bags from Fendi before. Is it true that they typically like after the purchase will email you the CITES certificate, or is it that typically it comes with the bag? I just find it strange that it wouldn't physically be with the bag as like the default option. I understand if it gets lost emailing it to you, but that just seemed a little off to me. So I don't know. For those of you that have more experience with Fendi exotics, let me know down in the comments below. But I was like, okay. So I was very happy with like that overall approach and the overall like plan of attack of how we were going to get my bag fixed. Great. Now, I am like a normal person, and obviously I was speaking to him on December 21st, and I know that it's the holidays, right? People want to take a break. They're not going to be as responsive. So I didn't hear back for like the next week. And I was like, you know, it's the holidays. I'm not going to stress. Like I was just wearing the bag top handle, like no big deal. And I was like, you know, if I don't hear anything by the new year, then I'll follow up. I didn't hear anything. So on January 2nd, I followed up and I asked, I was like, hey, what about the CITES and the shipping label so I can send you back my strap because I would like to get my new one. And he said he needed to go follow up. And later on that day, he said that the strap shipping label has been emailed to me. And I was like, I don't have anything. There's nothing in my email. What's going on? The next day, he was like, can you please confirm your email address? Which I thought was weird because I have been getting emails from that specific Fendi location ever since I purchased with them back in December. So I was like, no, you definitely have my correct email address. But fine, he wanted to confirm it. So I confirmed it, and then I didn't hear anything. So this was on January 3rd, still nothing. On January 6th, I followed up again via text. no response. January 7th, I followed up again via text, no response. And I would just like to add that this sales associate had iMessage, and so like all the messages were going through. I will say at some point he had mentioned to me that he's originally from Hawaii and he's going to be moving back there, but it didn't sound like it was like right away. It sounded like it was going to be in a while. So basically, I never heard from the sales associate again. That is where he ends in this story, and then other people are going to pick up. So I just did not know, like, was he just mad at me because I was following up, or did he move and not, transition his clients over to someone else? I don't really know what happened, but whatever. So January 7th was the last time I spoke to him, and that's when I followed up and was like, hey, like, just following up. And I did say, I was like, I just want you to know I'm pretty frustrated, by the way. I didn't like berate or anything. I just said, like, I'm frustrated, let's get this fixed. No response. So ironically, later on that day, January 7th, the head stockist at that Fendi location emails me, a totally different person. And he emailed me with a shipping label. So I was very happy about that. And then I also responded. I was like, thank you so much. I've not been hearing from my sales associate, so this is great. You're like literally my only point of contact. I will send the strap back to you. And then also, what about the CITES certificate? Because I still don't have that. And I was actually thinking about like traveling, so I like really wanted the CITES certificate because you can't travel with your exotic bag without its paperwork. Like, it's basically her passport. And I said, like, I was frustrated and upset. I'm sure you can understand. And I was like, I know it's not your fault, but I'm just frustrated by the situation. So I sent the strap back immediately, and per the tracking label and like the tracking updates, they received the strap back on January 10th, like midday. I think it was like 11 a.m., something like that. Still nothing, still no updates until January 15th. I email again and I was like, hi, you received my strap back like 5 days ago, confirmed via the tracking. Are you gonna send a new one? What about the CITES certificate? And I just feel like at this point, I'm like crazy. Like, no one wants to have to email people over and over asking for something. For me, it does not make me feel good. I do not like to call people out. I do not like to have to go through like an uncomfortable exchange like that. So for me, I was not happy about this. Some people like telling other people off. I don't like that. So I was really unhappy. So on the 15th, after he received my email, he sent me the replacement strap out that day. And I sent him, I was like, an email. I said, I thanked him, all of that. And then later on that day, he's like, I'm happy to help. And also attached is your CITES certificate. So I was so happy. I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. So I print out the CITES, and now I do keep it, nice and just in the pocket of the handbag, so that way I never forget it. I feel like I should maybe get it laminated or something at some point, but at least like now I've got the record of it. I also found out my bag originally came from Indonesia, and its last country of re-export was Singapore. So very interesting. But anyways, so I received the replacement strap the next day on January 16th. He did say he overnighted it, so I was like, amazing, this is great. I open up the new strap. It is the exact same strap that I originally sent them. I like took photos of them. They are the same. And I was like, bruh, what is going on? And I was like, listen, I am frustrated. Send me a new strap. And once I receive it, and once I'm happy with it, I'll send you back your other one. I was like, I have no use for two straps. Obviously, like, I didn't say this, but like, there's no, like, what am I gonna do with two straps of the exact same bag? Like, I can't do anything with it. So I was like, listen, like, you send me one, and then I will send you back one. But like, I'm not gonna keep going out of my way to send stuff to FedEx and UPS if you guys aren't even gonna be sending me back like a strap that I want. So no response. So the next day, I follow up again. Like, I'm pissed at this point. And I was like, hi, just checking in again. Like, have you sent out my replacement? They said yes, but they don't give me any tracking info. And they said they like overnighted it. I don't get anything until January 21st, but I received the second strap. So you imagine my excitement. I can't wait to open this second strap. I am so jazzed. It's not the same strap that I originally have had back and forth with them. It is a different strap, but it is also defective. It's got scales missing, and even like the joins of the leather don't look very good. And I was just like, man, this stinks. Like, this is not great. So I emailed him back and I was like, listen, I want to talk to the manager. I want her to call me today. I am frustrated and I want to get this figured out. So she responds and she tells me, she was like, listen, she's like, I'm prepping for a corporate visit tomorrow. She's like, I need to prep right now. Can I give you a call tomorrow? So I am just trying to be reasonable. I wait the full next day. No one calls me, of course. Boo. And then the following day, I email again and I was like, hey, I never got a call from you. I'm checking my call log. I'm just trying to like minimize the severity of it. But like, you didn't call me. Let's talk. So she calls me. And remember I told you when I was originally in the store, it was a guy that was helping me, but there was a woman in the background who was like super sweet, super friendly. I also felt like she was Middle Eastern, and like Middle Eastern women, like we know each other from a mile away. We really like each other. Like there's just a kindred spirit whenever I see a Middle Eastern woman. I don't know if it'd be the same when I live in the Middle East, but because I'm in America and there aren't that many of us, we always like really like each other. And the second I hear her voice on the phone, I was like, oh my God. I was like, you were the person that was helping me that day. And she was like, yes. And I was like, oh my God, you know, we talked about where we're from, our families, da da da. So it was really nice because it's like, okay, we're girls, nice. She explained that the reason I stopped hearing from my sales associate is that he did move back home, you know, to Hawaii. I didn't say anything, but I really wanted to be like in response, like, okay, that's fine that he moved back home, but you guys knew this was coming. It wasn't unplanned because he had mentioned it to me. He should have transitioned me, and the fact that I was mid-issue resolution to someone else to get it handled. So I do feel like that was definitely a miss on their behalf. But anyways, she was like, listen, I'm gonna help. She's like, I'm gonna call like my head of merch. We're gonna get you another strap. Like, let me just figure this out and I'll get back to you. So on January 31st, so like 8 days later, she calls me and she said they're actually sending me an entire brand new bag, a new bag and a new strap. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. She's like, yeah, I talked to like our head of merch. I was like, listen, I was like, I don't need a brand new bag. Like, I actually really like my bag. And with exotics, one of the things that's really important is like I think like the pattern of the scales and stuff. And if you like it or not, everyone likes different things. And I was like, I really love the bag. I really just need the strap. She's like, no, we're just gonna send you a whole thing. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just like pick whichever one I like more, but I think I really wanna keep my bag. I really like, I just want the strap. And she said, you know, the bag's just been picked up, and it was a Friday. And she was like, so it's not actually gonna get sent out until Monday, which I'm not gonna lie, I wanna believe that, but I also don't feel like that's true. You know, if you send something, even if it's on a Friday, it still goes into their system that day. Like it still starts moving because it gets sent to like a distribution center. So I was like, okay, whatever. But she was like, you should have it by Tuesday. And so this past week, I did end up receiving the bag. And I completely missed the first delivery because somehow they managed to bypass the call box. I guess like they had other packages to deliver that day, so they already got buzzed in. But they just knocked on my door, didn't say who they were. And I don't know about you all, I am a millennial. I do not answer the door if I am not expecting someone at the door. Like, you will never catch me going to ask, like, who's this? I've seen enough horror movies to know that that is how you die. So if someone's gonna knock on my door, and like, I live in an apartment, I've got some neighbors, some of them are kind of annoying, especially the ones you can hear up here. I just don't want to have to talk to anyone I don't want to have to talk to. So I didn't answer the door. And then later on that day, I went outside and I saw there was a missed delivery notice. So by Thursday, I get the new package, and it is not a whole brand new bag. It is just the strap. And thank God, it's a normal strap. It's fine. No major issues, no major flaws. So I was happy to keep it. But even then, I was stressed because I was like, oh no, are they going to be expecting me to send back a full bag? Because did something get crossed? Like, did any wires get crossed in logistics? And are they gonna think I'm like holding out an extra bag on them when I'm not? So I literally called the manager back and I was like, hey, just so you know, I got the strap, I love it, but I only got sent a strap. And thankfully the strap was sent in a small box that a bag could not have fit in. So I took a photo of it in case I was gonna need it to like prove. But I was like, hey, I never got a full bag, I just got a strap. And she was like, yeah, no, that's fine. But I was so confused because she was so sure that I was getting a whole brand new bag, and then I just got a strap. So it just feels like, I don't know. I don't understand how there were like so many different breakdowns in communication. But now, this is the brand new strap. She is beautiful, she is lovely and clean and not defective, and I am so happy about it. But honestly, I was kind of disappointed by just like all of the breakdowns in Fendi's customer service. There were a lot of moments of greatness, right? Where they quickly said like, okay, we'll replace the strap, we'll get you a CITES, you know, great. Or like, we're sending you a whole new bag. Like, all these things were very impressive, but then they were like there was no follow through. There was always like these big time delays, no response, me chasing them to follow up. I thought that was silly because I told them, I was like, I go to Vegas on a regular basis. Like, I will shop with you again. They kind of left like a bad taste in my mouth. I'm definitely still gonna shop there, but I think I'm gonna be like a psychopath about inspecting my stuff before I leave because like, I'm not going to want to have to deal with any like after sales service, because I think I've learned that maybe they don't care about the after sales experience as much. I don't know. I mean, I will say, everyone that I worked with, whenever I was speaking with them, they were so nice. The original SA, the stockist, and the store manager, they were all really lovely, but it was just overall a really frustrating experience. But now I've given you all the timeline, so please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Was I patient enough, or should I have been waiting more time? Once I had a boss who told me that, like, Lily, they were like, any amount of time you think a task should take, you should triple it, because that's actually how long it takes normal people to do it. So maybe I was following up too quickly, but I tried to leave like a lot of room in between my follow-ups until the end, when I was like, okay, I am mad, this is not okay. But I know this is a bad case of first world problems. Overall, I am very happy and very excited that I finally have this strap. Like I said, I love the bag, and is literally the only reason I was willing to deal with all this back and forth. Otherwise, I would have just said I want to return it and be done with it, you know? But we got the sides, we've got the strap, and so that has been my experience with Fendi. And the funny thing about this is that I didn't even know until I went shopping in Vegas at Fendi. This was my first time purchasing Fendi stuff from the Fendi boutique. All my other Fendi stuff has always been like from Saks or from Neiman's or whatever. Literally, this was like my first experience with the brand, like making a proper purchase. So I don't know, I was originally impressed at first and then kind of not impressed. So I don't know, just a lot to unpack there. But thank you all for listening to my rant. I really appreciate it that this is a safe space, because if I were to talk about this to like any other person who's not interested in luxury, they'd be like, shut up. And in fact, some of you watching this might be like, shut up, Lily. So who knows? But that was my experience with my Fendi Peekaboo, and I'm glad it's behind me. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing me rant a little bit. If you enjoyed it, if you liked this video, I would really love it if you just give this video a little like. So give a little thumbs up down in the corner below. And if you haven't already, what are you doing? You need to subscribe to my channel, so that way you can get all my latest content about all things shopping delivered straight to you. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Lily, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, everyone.